Hi everyone, and thank you for joining today's session on Azure Community, backed by Stava.dev. And today we will be talking more about Microsoft Azure and Microsoft Learn and how you can build your career path around Microsoft Azure. Today we have our guest who is Hamid, and he is a Microsoft MVP and also a Microsoft MCT who will be walking us through the topic and helping us better understand the Microsoft Learn and how you can build your career around Microsoft Azure. And before I get into the session and giving the mic over to Hamid, I wanted to explain a few things about today's session that the session will be recorded and will be available in our YouTube channel. And secondly, there is certificate of participation for those who stay till the end. So make sure you fill out the form which I'll be sharing during or at the end of session, and you can fill out the form and you will receive it. But during meantime, please to concentrate on the session, and I will definitely make sure that everybody who joined us will receive the certificate of participation. Okay, without any more delay, let's get into it. And I'm moving to mic to Hamid and to get started with the session. Over to you, Hamid.
Amazing. Thank you, Surak, and thank you for the great host. There is really great for the second time we are holding this session together with Surak and his perfect hosting. So yeah, hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever the world you are joining. So this is really wonderful to be together again in this session. Despite we have actually three different topics for today's session. So for whom that those attended previously in our session for learning and career path, I hope that was valuable and I really enjoyed it. And I also learned a lot from the questions that we had. That was really amazing. So in this today's session, we will also have topics from the previous session that we have learning and career path with some updated slides and also experiences together with introducing Microsoft Learn learning rooms because we had the opportunity to become a expert and also have our own learning room. And I will be explaining more in the details and what does it mean and how does it look like and what kind of activities and events we will have in the future and the events we've already prepared. So this session together with Surag and the host is also part of the activities we are together having with the Microsoft Learning Rooms and together with the host. So yeah, this is the pause. Before I'm gonna dive to the agenda, so I want to say if you haven't grabbed a coffee yet, so get a coffee because we're supposed to have a virtual coffee session together. And so we will meet together. We will have a virtual coffee beside the presentation and today's the content of the presentation. So we will try to know each other, and because yeah, we already with many of you, I believe within the session, we are already within the same learning room, and now within Microsoft Learn. So for the future, I believe I will be sharing the link. So if you are also interested, you can also ask Microsoft Learn, so they will also add you to the learning room. So we will always be in touch within the learning room chats, and we have different kind of channels. So yeah, why not? This is a virtual coffee session. Together, we will have beside all the agenda and the items and the contents of the agenda. So yeah, we will have more virtual coffee sessions together and hopefully having a physically coffee drinking together. So why not? So I already grabbed my coffee here, so ready just to dive to the sessions. So in today's agenda, so basically I will start with an introduction slide introducing myself, and then a glance at Microsoft Learn, and then we will get to know Learning Room and the purpose of the learning rooms that are created by Microsoft Learn, and we'll have an introduction to our learning room and in general to the learning rooms. And we will have in the next slide the welcome to the room. Actually, those slides are merged. So we will have those learning room introduction and welcome to the room in one slide. But yeah, I thought maybe having those separated won't be a good idea. So then will we start to evaluating our current path, either learning path or either the career path, what we are doing as an individual, and what we want to learn, and what kind of a path I want to follow, and so where I see my identity. So we'll be evaluating that. So knowing the identity that I want to become. And then the next item would be short-term and long-term plans. This is really important that building blocks, short-term blocks beside the long-term blocks, because the short-term blocks are what we build to achieve our long-term plans. So following this we will be getting more a deep dive more in detail actually. So again, we will have the item CLCD, continuous learning and continuous developing ourselves, building a learner mindset for us, and then we will look at where and how we are gonna start with Microsoft Azure. So for those of you, if you're already student, fresh graduate, or already professional experienced, and if you have hands-on experience and working in Microsoft Cloud the industry, actually, let's say that path. So you already have a path, but yeah, the being in this path requires to updating ourselves in a daily basis, and so having a defined way and path for our for ourselves. So, and then the next slide would be network and career, and so how we expand our network, and how we prepare ourselves for an introduction when we are going for an interview, or when we want to build our career, applying for jobs after building our knowledge upon Microsoft Azure. And afterwards, we will have time for question and answers. Actually, we will have question and answers at the end of welcome to the room. So if any questions just rise in there, just you can just ping me in the chat. So we will have 5 minutes in there. And then at the end, 5 to 10 minutes for closing the session. Together, we have exam vouchers to share within this session. So I have 5 exams vouchers from Microsoft Learn. So I will be asking questions. This is kind of a game. So I will ask questions, and whoever answers the first and the correct answer within the chat box, so I will be sharing an exam voucher. And together with the conditions of the exam vouchers, this is Microsoft exam vouchers. So you can sign up and use these exam vouchers to contribute and pass your exams. Let's go to the next slide. So yeah, my name is Hamid, and it's more than a decade now within the industry. Now it's nearly 6 to 7 years within cloud industry, I could say, and working with Microsoft technologies. Was always loyal to Microsoft technologies, I could say. And so yeah, I always love to learn and expand and share the things and experiences that I had, not just within the working place, working area, within the with colleagues, and also within the communities. I love being active within different communities. So my top community was always Microsoft community, and also I was also active within third-party communities, and also I was really love to build communities, organize events, and different kind of activities. So this is really important to connect within the industry, to connect with it within the community. So I'm a Microsoft MVP within Microsoft Azure Award category. So I just got re-awarded for the fourth time. So yeah, I'm happy. So also MCT since 2017, and recently we also started our. So the reason why I have the Microsoft Learn logo here is because we recently started creating learning rooms, which I've mentioned, and we will deep dive more. So here's my website, here's my LinkedIn, and here's my Twitter. You can get in touch with me anytime if you have any queries, any questions. So I love being getting connected and expanding our network. So yeah, Microsoft Learn. Many of you already familiar with Microsoft Learn. So it was Microsoft Docs, and before that was, as far as I remember, TechNet, and then became Docs, and now Microsoft Learn. I could say before getting into this slide, I could say for me it's always, as I also mentioned here, make it your homepage in the first item in this slide. So for me, this is like every morning when I'm when I'm starting, even in the weekends, I could say, like I'm on phone, like or starting my day in the during the weekdays. So it's like let's check Microsoft Learn. Let's see what kind of updates are there. So I believe this is for us as Microsoft experts within this session in the world. So if you are really interested in Microsoft technologies, if you're an expert, fresh graduate student, again interested following Microsoft technologies and become an expert and yeah, know how Microsoft develops those technologies, about updates, training paths, learning paths. So it's really important to being active and following the news and updates from Microsoft Learn. So why not make it your homepage? So the path, the portal that I've mentioned here is learn.microsoft.com, that you can go and build your profile with your Microsoft account in there. So I believe that this is really a best technical source for Microsoft technologies. So whatever or what you're looking for, you can find it in there. So for instance, if you have questions or want to follow a learning path about Microsoft Windows Server, Windows, M365 services, Microsoft Azure especially. So this is really a rich developed contents in there. So just sign up, start exploring menus, looking at different kind of paths. Since we will explore also this in the next slide. So this is a role-based, so Microsoft Azure is a role-based certification, so also role-based learning paths. So you can start looking into Microsoft Learn and find out about different kind of learning paths, different kind of pre-trainings even. So for me, it's like if I have a question or an issue to troubleshoot, that the first place to dive and search is always Microsoft Learn. So beside that, if for instance, I'm looking for something else that I'm not able to find within Microsoft Learn, so I will start searching, going through Google. So for normally, it is really good to start the first place to dive and search to, because yeah, this is your homepage also. So you just open your browser. So any questions, any problems, or any issues, or yeah, the things that you want to troubleshoot, it's good to start from Microsoft Learn. So yeah, as mentioned, this is really a rich and valuable content developed in Microsoft Learn, and always in development, always fresh content. So I really love that the way that people behind Microsoft Learn they are developing, especially for the dive and search part here. So if you have any question, actually we will dive, we will see in the next item. So it's Microsoft Learn questions and answers. But before that, let's check for the free training and learning paths. So there is the menu, that trainings and certifications and learning paths. So you can start and learning your own path also. So you will start to give some information about your experience, the place you are now. For instance, you are an AI engineer, a data engineer, Azure administrator. So you want to start with Azure, then it will give you a path following Microsoft Azure fundamentals, administrator, and then choose your own path. You want to become a data expert, again, AI expert. So yeah, it will design your path and it will give you the trainings that you would like and would love to follow. Again, if you don't like, so there are hundreds and thousands of really interesting learning paths that you can follow within Microsoft Learn. And Microsoft Learn questions and answer, or Q&A. So this is where you start to asking or answering questions in there if you have knowledge about an answer and you want to do community activities and helping people out in there within the community. So Microsoft Learn and question and answer Q&A is really a helpful place if you face any issues or any questions you have around the technology that you are working with. Recently, Microsoft also initiated a Cloud Skills Challenge. Actually, they already had Cloud Skills Challenge, but this time it is for Microsoft Learn AI Skills Challenge. So if you're already on the path or interested in data and AI technologies, I really recommend to sign up and follow the link for the Microsoft Learn AI Skills Challenge. So you will learn a lot about machine learning, different AI models, how Microsoft cooperates with OpenAI and how OpenAI integrated with Microsoft Azure. So these are all really interesting and rich content that you can follow. And at the end of the challenge, you will receive a badge and a certificate. So yes, and here we are, our learning room called Microsoft Azure Zero to Hero, and so we support in different languages within the room. So you're free to talk, to to ask your questions, and to share your experience and any help you need to asking the questions that are mentioned in my profile in Microsoft Learning Rooms. So in there, currently it's me arranging events and being active within Microsoft Learn, our learning room actually. So what kind of activities and the events we would have, it depends on the room. So it is actually kind of the plans that, for instance, this session and the sessions that we will have in the future. But I really would love to hear within the room and being active and arranging sessions together and events or get together sessions and local communities talking about technology and sharing, asking questions, presenting. So if you're also interested to present or have your own events or sessions, or if you have a blog or an article, just share within the room. So you feel free to share and have any kind of activities. So learning rooms, as an introduction to the learning rooms created with Microsoft Learn experts. So Microsoft Learn experts are those experts coming from different technology backgrounds, Microsoft Azure, Windows Server, M365 services. So they manage the room that they created with the technology topic and the name on the learning room. And so all the activities within that room will fell under that category of technology. So as said, we're always in touch in there. We'll having talks, conversations, event, and more within teams. So you can feel free to reach out anytime. So I'm always active within our learning room. So I'm online in there. It's my phone, my laptop, wherever I'm online. So just feel free to ask within the channels, or just ping me, or just share any activities you would love to. So we have different challenges for different Azure service categories. So that means we have channels for Microsoft Azure Fundamentals, which is specifically designed for Microsoft Azure Fundamentals. So any questions, content. So I'll be starting arranging and adding some contents also in there regarding the each different Azure service categories. For instance, Azure Fundamentals will have its own contents within our room. For Azure Administrator, either the same, and for Azure Architect, also the same, and so on. So we currently 6 to 7 channels that are created in different categories. So we have also a channel called Learning and Career Path. So if you face any challenge with networking, preparing your CV, or building your learning path, building your career path beside this session and the things we will be sharing now also in the next slide. So you can also be active and ask questions, and the contents we will also sharing in that channel in the learning room. So again, yeah, open for any ideas. Want to do an event or activity, you can just reach out or just share. I just recently realized there is an event that one of our attendees also created within learning room. So yeah, I'll be also talking in their session. So yeah, we'll be supporting, and any content, any resources needed, I'll be supporting. So just reach out. So any questions you would have here, just let me know regarding Microsoft learning rooms, and then so we will have 5 minutes of time for the learning room questions, and then we can keep going on for the presentation. No questions for learning room? Yes, this is available on the Microsoft TechNet community website. So it is called, as I also mentioned, the link here is techcommunity.microsoft.com. So you can follow the link, and or have a search on Google, like Microsoft Learning Rooms, and then you will be redirected. So, or after the session, I can also share the link with Surak, and we can share the link actually with everyone. So if you're interested, you are just filling the form within Microsoft Learn, and then afterwards you will be added to the room that you would like. So you will have a list of the rooms that are created in there by Microsoft Learn, and then you will be added to Microsoft. It's their own teams. So then we'll be in touch in there. Of course, yeah. I'll be sharing the link afterwards. So if no more questions, yeah. Regarding the learning paths and the certifications, we'll be having the last 10 minutes for the questions answered. So I'll be answering the questions a doc afterwards. So the pause here is supposed to have several minutes of pause for the learning room questions and answers. So I'll be moving forward, and we will be exploring the rest in the next slides. So yeah, let's start with where am I now, or what how did I start, and where did I see myself in the next several years? Not specifically saying 5 years or 10 years, but let's say in the future or in the several years, because we will see in the next slide also about the short-term and long-term plans. So there we can evaluate and see how it matters having short-term plans and achieving each of them in order to achieve the long-term plan and succeed and have the check on that. So let's start. What does it mean? Where am I now? So, for instance, imagine you started your university, and within the industry. So you're really enthusiasm with Microsoft technologies, especially cloud technologies. Let's say Microsoft Azure. So evaluating the past, the things that you learned, and the things you have now in your hand, and the things that you want to learn in the future and become actually. So it matters to see the identity that you want to become. So first build that identity for the several years in the future, and then start to restructure your cloud journey. For instance, already knew Microsoft Azure fundamentals. So it is a base. So starting with Microsoft Azure, it is a base to start with Azure fundamentals. So it is necessary. So to know the differences between public and private cloud, so different kind of structures. So how Microsoft uh, gives that technology to the market, how they name the technology, because there are different kind of vendors in the market. So each of the technology and the services that they provide, it is under different names, despite the service might be similar at some point. But yeah, maybe the name is different, maybe the way you sign up is different, the kind of the payment methods that they accept is the different, so the pricing is different, the structure, architecting, so these all matters. So restructure your cloud journey. That means that plan after your fundamentals, plan for your Azure administrator certificate. Follow that path for 3 to 6 months until you totally have the feeling that you really comprehend, you really understand what is Microsoft fundamentals and what is Microsoft Azure administrator about. After that, you can follow any path you are interested with Microsoft Azure. So it could be security, it could be data analytics, it could be AI, machine learning, any path. Because as mentioned in the previous slide, so it is with Microsoft Azure, it is role-based learning paths and role-based certifications. So you don't have to be an AI expert and also an infrastructure architect at the same. You can, it is okay. So you can also do the same jobs and in a daily basis. But if you're interested in one path, it is recommended to follow that path and become an expert on that path. So because this will become your passion, so you will love to do this. So restructure your cloud journey again on your passion. This is really important. So see the next several years the kind of the technology you are interested to follow and learn. So because the learning path you build, it will also affect your career path. So when you build your CV, the certifications you are going to add in there, the things you learned, the experiences you had, these will be coming from your learning path. So it will affect your CV, it will affect your career path, it will affect the job that you are going to find, and so on. So check what you learned. So again, it goes to the past, coming from the educational background, academic background, and self-studies, and see what you learned, and based on that, what you learned and your interests, build the path for the future. And we've also already explored what you want to learn. So again, that comes from you want to learn, the things you learned already, so you mix them, and this becomes your cloud journey actually. And it defines the path you want to grow. As much as you learn, as much as you build a learner mindset, and beside that, so it is like as much as you learn in a daily basis, it automatically scores itself. So it affects your network, it affects your LinkedIn network, Twitter, professional network. So sorry, you start automatically to get connected within the industry with professionals, with employees from vendor technology companies like Microsoft and other vendor technology companies, and then you realize the path that you want to grow. Again, I want to insist that being specific in your path is important. It's really important. So if you are following a path that you thought that you love it, like for several months ago, let's say 1 month ago, you started learning Azure data engineering path. So you started with DP 900 and you passed your certification, and then you start with DP 203, I guess, and then you pass this, and then you think, oh, it's not my passion. So it is time to pause in there and start to reevaluate. So what happened that you want to change your mindset or your path? Because the time is really important. The time you put in your learning and training path in the past several months and the years, that matters. So again, there is time and always and learning in a daily basis, but being an expert and being really strong, the path you are, knowing fundamentals and basics from different kind of technologies, it is necessary. It's good, but being expert on all of them, it maybe it won't be a good idea. So be expert and specialist on one path, and then you will knowing basics and fundamentals of other kind of technologies. It will become your tool. So it is like a tool in your pocket. So anytime you would love to or you would like to use it, so it's a tool. So you just get that tool and just use it wherever you get stuck in the future. It could be a case within your daily basis work and the job that you are doing. It could be anything, maybe a question that will come to you, so we would love to answer. Yeah, creating a learning path. So following from last slide, previous slide, sorry, this one, as we insist on how you define your learning path. This comes from the passion and the things we already imagined and the identity we've created for ourselves. So, for instance, I would say I want to see myself as an Azure infrastructure architect in the next 3 to 5 years. So this is what I imagine. This is the identity I've created for myself. So I started to write it. So don't forget to write it. Don't forget to draw it. Draw your plan, draw your imagination and the things that you want to learn, and just write it, plan it, imagine, and because this will give you the energy boost for your motivation to follow up. So unconsciously, you will find yourself setting your homepage to different kind of technology websites, following Microsoft Learn on a daily basis, checking for Azure updates, creating different learning paths in your own path. For instance, you're going to be an Azure infrastructure architect. You won't be just following Microsoft Learn training, so you will also follow different kind of materials because it won't be enough. So it is really good to not to say it's enough. I learned enough. So there will be always more to learn. So start with planning, as mentioned, and follow the learning path. Learn and have the confidence and that learning path, the material you learned. Try to get certified. It will give you a good boost and a good motivation. So because yeah, certifications will also be a proof of your learning mindset. So it will be a proof that you are a learner. So at some cases, for instance, when you want to build your career path, it is not an absolute proof of the knowledge. But yeah, as mentioned, it will prove that you are a learner, you love to learn, you want to grow, and you get certified. You put it in your CV, in your social networks and LinkedIn, and show, yeah, I'm learning. This is my learning path, and I want to grow and I want to learn more. This will automatically create a learner mindset for you. So that means with even the tiniest opportunity you get, tiniest time you get, you will start to learn on your phone, on a book, on a laptop, and talking about technology, going to events, attending different kind of summits, technology summits. So then you realize, yeah, you became a learner mindset, you build it, and this is kind of your habit now, and this is perfect. So this is what we want to achieve in this session also, want to achieve for our future. Having the learner mindset, which will trigger grow mindset. So as much as you learn, as mentioned in the previous slides, it will affect your career path and it will affect your job. It will affect the benefits, income, and at the end, it will affect your growth. So you will have the grow mindset. So learn, learn, have progress, grow. Learn, progress, grow. So building these two mindsets are really necessary. I know maybe it is going a little bit away from the technical stuff, but behind the technical stuff and the path we want to create, it is really necessary to be concrete, so to be strong and not to give up with a fail in an exam, or because this is an opportunity to learn. This is an opportunity to trigger and learn more, and have, exploring different kind of materials, exploring different kind of learning paths. So having a learner mindset means learning in a daily basis, learning, yeah, as mentioned, in a tiniest opportunity we have, learning in a weekly basis, in the weekends if you have just 30 minutes, 15 minutes, or maybe an hour if you have time. If you are a learning mindset, I'm sure that unconsciously you will put more time, and you will even won't be thinking of time and for learning. So it will be unconsciously, you will have a book, you will have a material in your phone, laptop, anywhere. Yeah, as mentioned, you will start to attend different kind of events and summits. So this is a must actually. Create small opportunities for learning. Yeah, the reason why I was mentioning in the first previous slides, like set your homepage, for instance, for Microsoft Learn, or follow different kind of sources. This is because it will give you the opportunity for unconsciously, maybe you're just in your phone, like checking for social network, and then you realize that the Microsoft Learn browser, or a browser, a page from a different technology website is open in your laptop, and you get interested and you start to learn. Even getting a small update, for instance, oh, today Microsoft Azure Active Directory got an update. Let's see what it does. So something changed, some protocols changed, some updates are, so the UI changed, for instance, the configuration method changed. So use apps, follow news, and get involved different kind of news communities, technology news communities. Keep yourself about the updates, because knowing the updates, it is also a really great motivation. So oh, there is a new service within Azure. So for instance, now it is a really great motivation to see how AI grows, how the data and machine learning grows in the world. So this is the thing that pulls everything towards. So the market and the industry goes that way. So this is a great motivation. So we've seen it in a daily basis in the news, in the feeds, ChatGPT, OpenAI, Microsoft Azure integration with OpenAI, different kind of the machine learning set. So this is some really great motivation. So unconsciously you start to sign up for the Microsoft Skills challenge, AI skills challenge, and you want to see the updates. So if you want to learn more and become an expert, then you build your path towards that, upon the things that we've explored in the previous sessions. And also the tech page, of course, like Microsoft Tech Community and other third-party tech pages. So yeah, that learning system will make you to enjoy the process that you build for yourself. So building learning system will trigger the mindset, trigger the learner mindset, trigger the grow mindset, boost your motivation, and enjoy that learning system that you build. Set long-term plans beside the system, and which we will follow, yeah, here. And the short-term plans, which we, I guess maybe we didn't call them short-term plans, but the things we've explored is falling in the category of short-term plans. For instance, learning in a daily basis, a weekly basis, building learner mindset, grow mindset. These are the short-term plans in a daily basis you do in to achieve your identity that we've discussed in the previous slides. So the identity we set in there, that becomes our long-term plan, and then we build the system towards that. So we build our mindset for becoming a learner, becoming a grow mindset, boosting our motivation, and catching opportunities to learn. to do what to achieve the long-term plan and the identity we have created for ourselves. So again, no rush. I understand, and it's, in some cases there is a rush. So I want to become an architect. I want to become an engineer in 3 months, in 6 months. It is possible to learning in a late. So studying and learning, self-studying, attending courses all day. It is really good, but do not burn out yourself. So just try to enjoy the technology and follow your passion. Just try to enjoy the system and the path you build for yourself and the things you want to achieve in 1 year or in 6 months. So if you push yourself really hard to finish that 6 months in 1 month or in 2 months, so it is a path, a door to burnout or to say, oh, I feel tired, or you maybe a path to giving that path up. So it is really important to have no rush and follow with passion. So building the blocks on top of each other. So by the time you will be there. So again, these slides are really connected together, I could say. Continuous learn, continuous develop. So continuous learn again comes from the previous slide. So building the system, because continuous learn is also connected to the learner mindset. As much as you learn on a daily basis, in weekdays, in weekends, that will trigger continuous develop. So you will also have the feel, let's learn, let's develop, let's learn, let's develop. So your brain will start to love the process of learning. So learning new technology and the path you are, for instance, Microsoft Azure infrastructure architect identity or want to become, so you will start to develop on that path. Developing means that you will start to develop labs and develop some kind of hands-on experience and touching the technology, developing the material you would like to have your new archive for the future and going past and checking what you have done. So I'll start with turning every opportunity into learning. So that again comes from the previous slide. So every opportunity, applications, news page and homepage, technical communities. So maybe it's not a good idea to get notifications really, and it's maybe disturbing it in the phone. But I would love to get notifications from the learning communities or the Q&A, for instance, Microsoft Q&A community to see what is the daily problem of administrators or architects, the questions they are asking. So what's going on? So I would love to check there, for instance, in a daily basis because the problems they're sharing there, it is also learning opportunities. I learn from there. The problem they share, for instance, I have an issue with this. So this is the log I got from our, for instance, the service from that series, just for example, and how could I fix that? So I'm looking for a solution to develop that. So that is a learning opportunity. So you check the questions. If you know, you answer. If you don't know, you start to research, and that research is a learning opportunity. So that comes from turning every opportunity into a learning, which again comes a learning mindset. Always keep yourself up to date in Microsoft Learn. We've also explored it in the previous slides. There's tons of huge updates that I see in a weekly basis and even in a daily basis in Microsoft Learn. So check out different learning paths and updates from Azure, and it is perfect to be active within Microsoft Learn communities since you are interested to follow Microsoft Cloud technologies. And follow a path, finish the path, and start the other. So, for instance, let's dive into go back to the topic that we were talking. For instance, if you are following a path and then you say, okay, it's not for me, let's go to another path, it's okay. So, but think of the time also and the energy you put on that path. So it is good to touch every kind of path, but try to find it, try to find your passion and the path you want to follow as soon as possible. So I'm not saying just rush on it and having stress that I need to find my passion and the thing that I want to follow and become that identity as much as immediately. But knowing different kind of learning paths, different kind of materials, learning sources, it is really necessary, as mentioned, so it will become your tool in your pocket at every path, at every situation, and at every session, any meeting. So you will be able to use it. But becoming on a path and understanding it totally and becoming confident on it, and then starting another path would be a good idea. So the line here points there actually. So becoming an expert, for instance. So again, it's not a good idea to say, I'm finished, I'm done, I'm the expert now, let's give up in there. It is your specialty area. So it is okay, but always again keep yourself up to date. Despite you want to switch, for instance, from Azure Infrastructure Architect to following the data path. Again, you are following the data path, but time to time keep yourself up to date also with the infrastructure architect part, which is your specialty. Just for an instance, in this case, it could be any kind of path. So start your learning plan from now on for the next 30 days, and you'll realize how you become a learner mindset. This is really important to building your habits upon that. So just you can just start to plan it from today, the things that we've explored in this session for the next 30 days. So think of your identity this week, build your identity, build a learning path, and then start to uh, follow building your learning mindset, grow mindset, build your passion, this the path you want to follow, and see your identity in there. So where to start with Microsoft Azure? So partially we've already touched within the previous slides. So how we want to actually start and how to start with Microsoft Azure actually, or where to start with Microsoft Azure. So as mentioned, Microsoft Azure is a role-based learning path, a certification. So it's not a must that you would know everything, all the services within Microsoft Azure, but becoming an expert in one path, as mentioned, is really important. So because you say, I love to become a developer, I want to become an AI expert, a data expert, and an architect. So it is role-based. It's up to you to build your identity again on it, build your learning mindset in that path. So there is not a must to know all the services and everything within Azure actually. But this is really important to always start with fundamentals. So I remember that I put the important with the exclamation mark here. So because this is really important. So to totally understand Azure fundamentals. So go through AZ900 and read it. If you don't understand, read it again, read each page twice. So for instance, I would love to time go back and read Azure fundamentals. This is really important to keep fundamentals up to date. So in every session, I always try to insist in there. So fundamentals and basics really matter. Sometimes we forgot about fundamentals. Sometimes we start with really highest technology, we start with engineering, with architecting, and sometimes we miss the basics and fundamentals are really important. So keep it always up to date. If you want to start, I would recommend start with Azure fundamentals. So this is the path if you have the question where to start with Microsoft Azure. So AZ900, Microsoft Azure fundamentals. Follow your current specialty to find your role in Azure. So based on the experience and the things you learned in the past, so it can also be a trigger to define your next steps in Azure. For instance, you say, I'm already familiar with Azure fundamentals and Azure administrator, and I have some experience also at security part. I was working as a security engineer with different kind of technologies. So I know the basics about technology. basics about the security protocols. So how to secure and govern an organization and a network or a domain. So maybe Azure security had become a security specialist or a security engineer with the Microsoft Azure cloud technologies would be a good idea. So that is what it mentions to find your role in Azure. So following your specialty. So that would be a good idea to know with which learning path or which with which role actually should I start my Azure career and a learning path. Then you can expand and mix it with other roles. So as much as you grow, you become a specialist and you want to start with other roles. This is also comes from the topic that I was mentioning earlier. So if you feel the confident and you feel I totally understand, I can imagine everything in my mind when there is a question or there is a solution I want to provide. So then you can mix that knowledge with the new path you want to become or you want to follow. So again, learn, build labs, test environments, and experience. This is really important to touch the technology. This is really important to build labs, have failures, have errors, have warnings, troubleshoot, research, search as much as you can. So this is really important beside the learning path and learning in a daily basis, building labs and touching the technology. So just reading and turning the page over it will give us an academic understanding of what is happening within Microsoft Azure, but touching the technology and turning it into experience, that is something else. So it will boost our confidence working with technology. So you won't have it stress or worry, what will happen if I click here? What will happen if I configure this? So again, build labs, test environments, and experience it. Let's quickly also go through networking and building the which will affect our career path, and then afterwards we will have the question and answer and also the voucher game. So now it's time to build your path. Starting today, think your identity, learning paths, all the things that we've explored within this session, putting all them together. Let's start with the path. So always connect within the industry, with the people within the industry, and follow their updates. For instance, connect with Microsoft employees like Azure architects, Azure engineers, the people who are professionals, really experienced for several years working within cloud industry, especially with Microsoft Cloud technologies and services. For instance, connect with MVPs, MCPs, Microsoft Learn communities, being active in there. So seeing updates and connecting with those people will be a boost to your network. So you'll have the confidence you are in a right network, you are in the right path. So any question you have or anything you want, any help you want to get, it is just enough just to write in your network. For instance, in your LinkedIn, in your Microsoft Learn profile, in Microsoft Learn community, in different kind of communities. For instance, learning rooms. This is also a community. So you just ask. So thousands of people, and also within your LinkedIn network, for instance, maybe Twitter, with the different kind of communities. So being within that network will also boost your career and confidence that you are in the right place. Create a well prepared and summarized CV. So that means that have always a bio about yourself, about your characteristics, the things you love to do, the things you want to learn, not just start directly with technical stuff. So yeah, have your smiling photo and start with academic, summarized academic background and summarized job background and the things that you've experienced, and start with the certifications and the things that you learned, or the things you are learning and you want to learn. So it is really important to have them also in your CV as summarized. So be active on LinkedIn and always have an up-to-date profile. It's really important to being active in LinkedIn. This is part of Microsoft. I could say majority of Microsoft experts and professionals from different backgrounds within the industry, Microsoft employees, again, MVPs, MCTs, and Microsoft regional directors. So everyone you could be able to follow or connect with. So most of them I've experienced and I've saw on LinkedIn. So it is really a good idea to be in there and be active and just try to check there once a day, follow different kind of again technology page and professionals and check their updates and the things they're sharing, and keep your profile up to date. So any certificate, any learning path, any job update, anything you are learning, just sharing it. It is really important to keep your network informed that what you are doing, what you are dealing with, what you are learning, or what what do you think about technology? So share your ideas. So these are all will turn into opportunities. So be specific again in your career path, what you want to do and what you become in your role. So summarizing the things we learned, this is really important. Being specific, being passionate, not no rush, having a concrete plan, seeing the identity, and you will be there. And here you are, and good luck. Let's move into our last slide. So we have still time. I will start with questions and answers. So once the question and answers finished, I will start asking questions. So I have five vouchers to share, and the vouchers I have some rules, which I will be reading those rules afterwards I answer the question. So let's start with the questions. Just feel free to ask any questions. So I will just scroll a little bit up to see if there are any questions I already missed. So, Edafe, what is the best way to prepare for AZ104 exam, Microsoft Learn or YouTube videos? So, start with Microsoft Learn, I could recommend. So, start with the Microsoft Learn learning paths that are already defined. It's totally free. So, beside that, you can also use YouTube videos. So, why not? Following different contents and materials, this is really important. But following Microsoft Learn training paths, that will give you the cutting edge updates and the technology you want to follow. For instance, in this case, AZ104. So Farhana, let's see, what will be my first step of learning and how can I start? I would recommend, yeah, if you are just starting, start with Microsoft Learn, building your profile, and check for different kind of learning paths and find out your passion. So the thing that you want to learn and the identity again you want to build for yourself in your network. So and build your learning mindset and grow mindset upon that path. So check for the previous things that you learned and compare it to the current stuff you want to learn and compare all of them as summarized with the identity you want to become. So Cursa, what about MCSE exams? So MCSE exam, MCSA, MCSE exam, those are all retired. So now these are all Microsoft Cloud technology certifications and learning paths. So starting with AZ exams, DP exams, and AI exams. So knowing about MCSE knowledge, it is good, but following the learning path and getting certifications maybe won't be a good idea. So instead, start with Microsoft Azure Fundamentals and Microsoft Azure Administrator. Does the free badge from Microsoft will help us land an internship? Again, badges and certificates. This is the question from Samyak. Badges and certifications are not proof of the knowledge and expertise, but it is a proof that you learn, you follow the technology, you follow the updates and the technology you are interested in. So for instance, for me or someone that's just checking your CV, seeing your certifications and badges that you mention in there, so it will give a feeling, oh yeah, this person loves to learn. That loves to learn will give that person a good feeling. So because learning and keeping yourself up to date, it will be always beneficial for your network and the organizations you are working. Uh, the question from Jenner, what you recommend for beginners? For beginners, I would recommend go to Microsoft Learn and learn.microsoft.com, build your profile and account in there, and start with Microsoft AZ900 course. So it will give a really good picture of the cloud technologies and the services that Microsoft provides. Sukesh, I read your question that you are an experienced C# engineer or developer, and you want to become an Azure architect. So if you have an experience with, so you are really experienced. So if you want to become an Azure architect, again, start if you have an experience working with Azure technologies, and you have the confidence that you know about Azure fundamentals and administrator services, then I would recommend start with Azure AZ305 and study that path. And again, building your learning path for all actually within the session, building your learning path and career path in more details. And if you have questions after the session, I would recommend following the learning rooms, and we will be always in touch together. Uh, I will try to share the learning room. Okay, link is here. Is suitable for somebody who has no idea of programming. You are not supposed to do programming, Risa. So you start with just fundamentals. So it won't start directly with programming. So in a daily basis, none of us just always doing programming. So we are not developers. We are not programmers. We're just solution engineers, solution architects. So we learn and we know how to work with technology. The Rail AZ900 is a good starting point, of course. Start with AZ900 if you are new to Microsoft Cloud technology industry. So start with AZ900. That would be a really good boost to start your career and learning path. Franklin, I saw your question. I have noticed some employers need those who have working experience. How could a beginner fit into getting a job with the learning? So as mentioned, the learning experience and having the learning mindset, certifications, badges, so that will give you the knowledge how to working and knowing how the technology works. But as mentioned in our last slide, build labs. So Microsoft Azure provides free credit for students and for everyone actually. It's a 1 year free credit, I guess $200. I'm not sure, but just check and verify it. But it's free to sign up. So go to portal.azure.com and just sign up for it and touch the technology, build laboratories. That will give you experience beside the academic knowledge that you learn from Microsoft Learn and other providers. Michael, how about tracked Internet of Things learning that we have? If you're interested in Internet of Things or IoT, but if you are new to Azure, again, I would suggest follow Azure AZ900 and then AZ104 to know how to administrate the Azure services, and then start with IoT services, and then you will be good to follow that learning path. I will paste the learning room link in the chat. You can just go in there and click on the link, and you will fill the form, and you need to choose Microsoft Azure Zero to Hero and provide your information, and Microsoft Learn will add you to my learning room in Microsoft Learn, actually. So I guess we are good with the questions. I will start with the vouchers, but before starting the games, so I need to share some information. So these vouchers are 50% off, not 100%. So you can use one voucher at a time. Vouchers must be used in 90 days, and so there won't be an extension of time for the vouchers. So vouchers are specifically for fundamentals exams only. So on advanced role, not for the advanced exams. So for instance, you can take the fundamental exams at each level for data fundamentals, Azure fundamentals, AI fundamentals. So the vouchers are for fundamental exams only. So, okay. I'm starting with the first question, and the first person who answers the correct answer, I will choose to share the voucher with, actually. So how many, starting with the first question, so get ready. How many regions does Azure have? How many regions does Azure have? These are called Azure regions. No, not yet. No correct answer. Yes, Franklin Lumapas. This is the correct answer. So I will take a note of your name. So the first correct answer will be shared. Okay. Going to the next question. This is really simple. So I believe there will be really more correct answers, but I will choose I have to choose the first correct answer. So is Microsoft Azure a public cloud provider or a private cloud provider? Tita, okay, I got your name. You provided the first correct answer. So going for the third question, so what is Microsoft Azure Active Directory? So it's a little bit hard question. So what is Microsoft Azure Active Directory? You can just simply write what is this service for. It's called Azure AD, but what's the purpose of this? So you can just explain it. Okay, Gian Aibo, I have your name. This is the correct answer. We have two questions left. It is going to be a little bit hard question. So standing watch. by your side, intelligent security analytics for your entire enterprise. So what is this service in Microsoft Azure, if you have experienced it? So I am again reading the question, standing watch by your side, intelligent security analytics for your entire enterprise. You are getting closer. Yeah, some more answers. I'm reading the question again. Standing watch by your side, intelligent security analytics for your entire enterprise. Yeah, some more answers. Getting close. No, no. Yes, Richard Powell, Sentinel. That is correct. So Microsoft Sentinel is standing which by your side, intelligent security analytics for your entire enterprise. And going for the last question and last voucher to share. So what it is called for establishing a secure cross-premises connectivity within Azure? What is this? Establishing a secure cross-premises connectivity. What is this? Yeah, I am repeating, establishing a secure cross-premises connectivity. It is kind of a tunnel. I'm giving a little bit of, it is kind of a tunnel that, yeah, Joseph, you had the right answer. So, okay, great. That's all. So we are also good with the questions. For now, I had just 5 vouchers for this session, and for the next sessions, I will be able to get more vouchers. So then we can have enjoyable games also together within the session. So I really would love to thank you for joining the session, and that was really great to being together, learning from each other. Thank you for your time in the weekend, and wish to see you again in the next sessions. And I would love to thank the host and also Surag for their valuable time and the effort they put to preparing everything, the host and the banners and promoting the session. So yeah, wish to see you in the learning room, and we will be in touch together. We will have having more sessions and events and summits together. Wish you a great weekend. For those who won the voucher, if you could able to stay in the session, and so I will be able to share the vouchers with you here. Thank you all.
Thank you, Hamid, for session. It was really engaging, and I can really see people were able to relate with you what you were sharing, the growth mindset, and getting in more into Microsoft Learn and how they can excel in their career. So again, thank you to Hamid, and thank you all for joining, for your engagement through the session, and everybody's happy with the session, and I can really see everybody's telling thank you. Yeah, that's it for today, and there is a certificate of participation as well for those who have stayed till the end and taken your 1 hour of your time to spend it productively and learn something new. And I have shared it, the link to the form where you can get certificate as well, and Hamid will be sharing the vouchers in the chat during the after time, and also he please to check his uh, mm, learn rooms. He has shared it in the chat box. You had to pick his name after you fill it, and make sure you search it is a little bit lower, but yeah, make sure you fill that out as well, and you will get the notification after you fill within 48 hours of filling out. That's it. And yeah, thank you, and see you in the community in the next session from Hamid. And there is a lot of other session also coming up. And yeah, thank you, and have a great rest of the day.
Just one another point. I've just realized I'm not able to send PM messages within the Teams to sharing the vouchers to the winners. So I guess we have the email from the registrants, so we can mail the winners with the vouchers afterwards. Is it possible, Surak?
Yes, that is possible if we have their name.
Yeah, I got the name. So afterwards, I will reach out to you. So we will be sharing vouchers with you, Franklin, Tina, Tita, Jang, and Richard. So yeah, see you in a while.
Awesome. Okay,
Cheers. Bye bye.
thank you. Bye.